1.
Okay, guys, today we're going to be talking about making a counterclaim. Now, the counterclaim is the other side. The other side of what, you ask? The other side of the argument that you are trying to make in your paper. Remember, when you make a claim, that is your opinion that you are trying to convince others feel is right. So your counterclaim that you are making is when you try to anticipate what would the other side say, what would their argument be, and you make that argument. Here's the thing, though. The two sides aren't equal. You're not trying to argue that both of them are the same. You're choosing one side. And just like in a battle between Jedi and Sith, you can't support both of them. You have to choose one or the other. So the support paragraphs that you have written for your argument, you have your claim. You have a claim with two reasons, and then you use those reasons to form your support paragraphs. You'll have a topic sentence for those support paragraphs, evidence, and then an explanation of how the evidence connects. We're going to be doing the same thing here, and we just want to do it, though, with the opposite side's claim. Okay? Just remember, though, you're not trying to make the other side's argument win. You still have your argument that you want to win, and you're trying to use their argument against them. That's the key thing with the counterclaim. You're trying to figure out what would the other side say, and then point out why is their argument not as good as your argument. So let's take a look now at an earlier example that we talked about. We had a claim and two reasons, which we call our thesis, about reading. People should read more because it will help their memory and increase their vocabulary. So that's our claim. People should read more, and then two reasons for it: help their memory, increase their vocabulary. We then are going to write an entire support paragraph about memory, and then another support paragraph about vocabulary. In each of those, we're going to have a topic sentence, such as, if you read more, you will be able to remember more, where we've paraphrased that first reason. Then we need evidence that's going to prove it. There are a lot of details such as novels such as character, setting, and plot. Keeping track of all those details is good exercise for your brain. And then we need to connect it all back together, tying that should read more with something like your brain is like a muscle and it needs exercise. That's a reason why people should read more. What we're going to do is we're going to take this claim that we have, people should read more because it will help their memory and increase their vocabulary, and we want to try to think, what would the other side say? If somebody was arguing against people should read more, what would they come up with as a reason for not reading, aside from, yeah, I don't like reading? So what might somebody come up with? If I'm trying to think of this counterclaim, I might come up with something like, some people might argue that reading prevents people from having fun interacting with others. That's, I think, could be a strong argument. People would believe that. When you're reading, but you're by yourself, so therefore you're not going to be able to have the fun you might otherwise have. So now that I've got that counterclaim, I need to think of evidence. But remember, I'm not trying to prove that the counterclaim is right. I'm trying to prove the counterclaim is wrong. So that's what I need my evidence to do. So if I find some evidence that's going to refute that point, I want to think, what's going to say that it doesn't really have, they don't really, stop having fun just because they're reading. I might come up with something like, while it is true people are not interacting with others when they read, they can talk about what they read with others. And that is meant to prove the counterclaim is wrong. Now, after I've presented the evidence, just like I've done before, I need something in there that's going to explain how everything connects. I want to bring those ideas all back together. So I need something that's going to attach that counterclaim to the evidence. And that's what I need to figure out for my explanation of how these things connect. I might come up with, reading can provide people with opportunities to talk to other people about all sorts of topics they might not ever have the chance to talk about. And that's meant to refute that idea that reading prevents people from having fun and interacting with other people. Okay, so just remember, guys, when you are coming up with your counterclaims, the whole point is you still want your argument to win. You want your side to win, and the counterclaim is meant to help your side do just that. It's now time to begin your activity sheet.